Why 40 is not the end, it's the beginning. I was 42 when I realized something wasn't right. I'd spent over 2 decades helping others build muscle, lose weight, and feel unstoppable. Yet there I was, waking up stiff, dodging leg day, and convincing myself that maintenance was enough. But here's the truth, my friend. After 40, your body doesn't slow down because it's supposed to. It slows down because we let it. This isn't about reclaiming your youth. It's about building something stronger and smarter than what you had in your 20s. You don't need a fancy gym membership, a six-pack, or hours of free time. What you need is a smarter plan, one that trains your body the way life demands. So today, I'm giving you exactly that. 6 foundational exercises every man over 40 must master, not just for gains, but for real-life strength, energy, and respect. And we're not doing this with gimmicks. Just a pair of dumbbells, your body, and a mindset built for progress. Bent over rows, reclaiming strength in the rear view. Let's begin where most men over 40 fall apart, the back. Years of sitting at a desk, driving, or simply not pulling anything heavier than a grocery bag. They weaken the posterior chain. Here's where dumbbell bent over rows come in. I still remember my first client in his mid-40s, Greg, a software developer who'd never lifted a weight in his life. After 3 months of focused rowing, not only did his posture improve, he said he no longer felt compressed by life. Why it works? The movement targets your lats, rhomboids, and traps. But more than that, it teaches you to brace your core, align your spine, and connect your upper and lower halves. My tip? Don't yank the weight. Row it like you're trying to squeeze a tennis ball between your shoulder blades. That's how you rebuild your foundation. One pull at a time. Push UPS, the forgotten king of upper body strength. Push-ups are not just an entry-level movement. When done right, they build strength, control, and muscular endurance that no cable machine can replicate. One of my long-term clients, Marcus, a 48-year-old former smoker, couldn't do 1 rep when we started. 6 weeks in, he was banging out sets of 20 with perfect form, and his shoulder pain disappeared. Here's why. Push-ups demand total body engagement. Your chest, shoulders, triceps, core, and even glutes must work in harmony. And when they do, it feels like your body's been rewired to perform better. Forget the ego. Master the basics. That's how men over 40 stay injury-free and powerful. Overhead press, rebuilding your shoulder armor. If there's one joint that tends to break down as we age, it's the shoulder. Years of poor posture, shallow pressing, and neglecting overhead movement lead to imbalances that eventually scream for attention, often in the form of pain. When I turned 41, I'd been avoiding overhead pressing for almost a year. After a rotator cuff scare, I convinced myself that incline pressing was enough. It wasn't. My overhead mobility regressed, and so did my confidence in moving freely. I came back to basics, the dumbbell overhead press. No barbell, no machine, just control, precision, and intent. Start light. Stand tall. Press with purpose. The goal isn't to lift heavy. It's to stabilize, to reconnect your delts with your core, to remind your body that strength isn't about dominance. It's about control. Whether you're pressing from a standing position or seated on a bench, your posture is the lift. Keep your ribcage down. Engage your abs. Press up, not back. Let the movement teach you how to own your range again. This isn't just about growing cannonball shoulders. It's about becoming injury resilient. It's about aging without compromise. Bench dips, triceps that do more than look good. Let's talk about the triceps. Often overlooked, often undertrained, and often blamed when shoulder pain creeps in. But strong, healthy triceps are the secret weapon for men over 40. Why? Because they stabilize your pressing, support your posture, and keep your arms looking like they still mean business. I worked with a client named Tom, 52, former Army, and one of the most disciplined men I've met. But after years of desk work, his elbows flared up every time he benched. We scaled him back to bench dips. Just his body weight and a pair of sturdy boxes. He hated how simple it felt at first. But after 6 weeks, his arms were visibly fuller, and his pressing strength went up without the pain. Bench dips are humble, yes, but devastatingly effective. They activate the long head of the triceps, the part responsible for real size and power. Key point: keep your shoulders packed, your elbows tight, and your range clean. No bouncing, no ego, This is about reconnecting strength through range. And remember, as men age, aesthetics should follow function, not the other way around. Front squats, the core awakening you didn't know you needed. Let's face it, leg day has a bad reputation, especially among men over 40, who've experienced back tweaks, knee discomfort, or that general, I'll just walk instead mentality. But you can't build a strong body on weak legs. Period. Forget heavy barbells or complex squat racks. Let's return to the essentials. The dumbbell front squat. This move isn't just about legs. It's a core integration masterclass. Holding the weights at your shoulders forces your torso upright. That, in turn, turns your abs into shock absorbers. No need for sit-ups when you're doing these right. One of my clients, Jorge, 45, had chronic low back pain. We stripped everything down to bodyweight squats, and then progressed to goblet squats. Eventually, he was front squatting 50-pound dumbbells for reps, pain-free. And the craziest part? His waist shrank, not from cardio, but from engaging his core with every rep. Front squats teach you pride. Chest up, back straight, knees tracking clean. You don't just move weight, you move with intent. The man maker, turning exercise into grit. This is the moment most guys either rise or retreat. The man maker is not just a move. It's a gauntlet, a rite of passage. And for men over 40, it's the ultimate test of coordination, strength, and mental resilience. Let me be real. This exercise crushed me the first time I tried it at 39. My heart raced. My lungs burned. My form fell apart. But it taught me something no isolated movement ever could. How to endure. Here's the breakdown. Row the dumbbell on the right. Row the dumbbell on the left. Drop into a push-up. Pop to your feet. Clean the dumbbells to your shoulders. Press them overhead. That's 1 rep. Do 5 clean ones and you'll feel it in your lungs. Do 10 and you're pushing your soul. But here's what makes it magic. You don't just get a full body workout. You get clarity. You get grit. You find out where your limits are and how to move past them. Men over 40 don't need more biceps curls. They need challenges that translate into real life. And this, my friend, is that challenge. The 10-2-1 protocol, the workout that changed everything. Now that you know the 6 exercises, let me give you the structure that rewired my approach to training after 40. I call it the 10-1 protocol, a descending circuit that pushes volume, intensity, and mindset. Here's how it works. 10 reps of each movement, then 9, then 8, all the way down to 1. You'll finish with 55 reps of each exercise. That's 330 reps in total. But more than that, you'll finish with something deeper, a sense of pride, of reclaiming control over your body, your time, and your capability. It takes about 40 to 45 minutes. Do it 2 to 3 times per week. Walk or stretch on the other days. Sleep like it matters. Eat like you care. And watch your energy return. I've seen dads drop their belly. I've seen execs rebuild confidence. I've seen men in their 50s outwork kids in their 20s, all because they committed to this rhythm. Lessons from the trenches. What most men over 40 get wrong. I've coached thousands. Fighters, fathers, CEOs, retirees. And the biggest mistake they all make? Chasing the past instead of building the future. They try to train like they did at 25. They chase the pump, the PR, the high-volume routines they read in magazines, and then wonder why their joints hurt. And progress stalls. Here's what works. A less variety. More mastery. Focus on full-body moves, not isolation fluff. I respect rest. Prioritize form. Build strength from the inside out, not just for show. Men over 40 don't need more noise. They need clarity, purpose, and a system that honors where they are and pushes them to where they want to go. The real transformation, from identity to legacy. This isn't about six-pack abs. This is about living in a body that doesn't hold you back. I want you to walk into every room and know your body's got your back. I want your kids to see strength in motion, not just in your muscles, but in your posture, your energy, your discipline. That's what this program is about. Not shortcuts, not secrets, just sweat, structure, and sustainable strength. And the best part? It's never too late. If this message hit home, don't just nod, act. Drop a comment with which of these 6 movements you're starting with. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Not because it helps me, but because this journey is about momentum. And share this video with the men in your life who need a reset.